Hey, what's going on, everybody? If you've been following along, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Tony, and this guy behind me is my good friend Brandon. In the last couple videos, we've been working on my personal car. It's a 2005 Lotus Elise. We're not doing anything major, but we do have the rear clam pulled off so we can do some cool upgrades over winter. We're trying to run some vibrant performance AN lines everywhere. We replaced the coolant reservoir with a really nice one from Radium in the last video, and today we have the valve cover and the intake manifold pulled off so we can get it painted. Brandon's right here getting the valve cover scrubbed up. It's starting to look real nice. I almost don't even want to paint it. Over here we have the throttle body and the intake manifold. There's a couple of these old push-on fittings on all three of these parts, and so we went and paid an exorbitant amount of money for some NPT taps. What this is going to let us do is we're going to tap these old push-on housings, and it's going to let us run our AN lines through there. Hopefully by the end of the video we have all of this scrubbed, tapped, maybe painted. We'll see where we go from there, but so far it's coming along pretty good. Alright, we got everything cleaned up and about ready to paint, but first we need to tap a few of these holes. That way we're not fiddling around with these a whole bunch once they're painted. In order to keep any shavings, or to help prevent any shavings from getting inside any of the parts, we're going to be using quite a bit of its bearing grease on the taps. It helps grab some of those shavings as you're tapping. Once we're done, we're still going to air hose and maybe even power wash it out just to make sure we're not getting anything left behind. Okay, so our first hole is drilled out. We haven't tapped it yet. Whenever you're doing stuff like this, make sure to go really slow. If you try to go real fast, you're either going to break a drill bit or you're going to break something on your part. A whole bunch of shrapnel came out of that. However, inside of there, I know you can't see, there's not much of anything, and so make sure to always use a little bit of grease on your drill bit and your tap. Okay, we got this side threaded and tapped. This is the original check valve that came from this side. We're using it just to check. I get it, check valve, no checking. Anyway, if you're doing anything like this at home, be real careful. It's easy to screw it up. It's easy to break something. Ah, my eyes! I'm gonna go blind now! How the hell do I open it? I'm just supposed to die or what? Alright, me and Brandon still have our eyesight. So now we're tapping the throttle body. Okay, all our pieces have been prepped and they're ready for paint. It's not too hard, but if you're doing this at home, remember that your prep is always the most important step. So, as you saw on these 3 pieces, we started off hitting them with some Scotch-Brite. That knocked off a lot of the surface grime. We followed with some 220 sandpaper. And then finally, we wiped everything down with some degreaser. A lot of these parts, especially your valve cover, is going to have quite a bit of oil and stuff that has been spilt on it, and the metal kind of absorbs that, so you need to make sure to prep that stuff really, really well before you spray. We considered doing some color matching, but you know, color match paint typically isn't going to be heat resistant, and so we're gonna go with, you know, old trusty Duplicolor. We're just gonna spray it with, this is a cherry red. First though, we're gonna hit it with some adhesion promoter. You can never go wrong on anything that you're spraying. This is gonna help it stick much better. It's gonna be less likely to chip. Okay, we ran into a little issue. The paint we bought was definitely red. The can said it's red. The label said it was red. Same red we've bought and used before. But let's do a comparison. Does that look red? No. No, it's not red. This is Chevy orange. Look. Wrong. Incorrect. So we went and bought the caliper red paint because this is exactly the same as the high temp engine enamel, except this only comes in one color, which is red. There's not any chance that it's not red. So yeah, check this out.
$2 more. So it's caliper.
Oh yeah, it cost an additional $2 because it says caliper, but it's exactly the same. You can read the label, same exact stuff. But yeah, one more time, totally wrong. So this isn't too bad though for a base coat. We laid down maybe 3 coats so far. It's still kind of light, which is okay. O'Reilly's just traded us back out, I guess. They discounted this to the cost of the other paint and didn't give us any troubles. Like that, the paint is done. It looks really awesome. The red laid down super smooth. We don't have much of any orange pill or much trash in it. The little bit that we do have is gonna buff right out. This color ended up working way better than that first color we started with. I think they just mislabeled the can. Look how smooth it laid down though. The color's just right. I can't wait to get it on the car, see what it looks like. It's really gonna complement all of the black and red AN lines that we're gonna be running. And that about wraps up the really major portion of this build. All that we have left to do now is get our vibrant AN lines in, get all of those ran, and then start reassembling the car. We're trying to get it done by March. We're gonna take the Factory 5 build that we did for SEMA, and then our other Factory 5 build that we did for SEMA last year. We're trying to get both of those out to Dallas at the Texas Motor Speedway for the Good Guys event. I think it's March 8th through the 10th. Last year, on the very last day, they let anybody take their car out onto the track. And so I'd really like to have the Lotus done so we can take it out and run it on the last day of the event.